Hello, everybody. This is Wonderboat speaking. I'm here for a little bit of a pre-talk, pre-show. I know everybody's just joining in from Rooster and Apuchi, but yeah, we've got a really nice event going on tonight. We got some really strong players lined up for some sort of chill games, but there are some stakes here. You know, winning gives you 50 bucks. And you know, a little bit of flashy entertainment as well, because you can vote for your favorite game of the day, and then whoever wins the votes goes into a best of 3 for $300 on the line, so nothing small there. So up first, we have already quite a killer of a match with the Forgotten Arbiter against Fang Fang, who you may better know as Red Hair. But Red Hair has been asking us to call him Fang Fang, so you know I'm trying to do my best here. It's kind of a funny culture thing. We got red hair, we got blue hair. You can even see it on the screen there. Two like extremely famous 201 players who've been, you know, top of the ladder for quite a long time, especially red hair. I think somebody even has a white hair avatar today. And yeah, it's nice to see some new players. Some of these 201 players I've never heard of before, but it's always nice to be introduced to more strong players. And the nice thing about MAG1 is that you know, it sort of bridges the communities between the 201 and the, you know, all the other regions because there's quite a language barrier. But, you know, when we organize stuff like this, we really get a chance to put in the effort to translate, to collaborate, and it's definitely quite a fun aspect of this. So a big special thing today is we're going to be debuting the new unit called Raiden or Raiden, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it. It's a lightning attack that hits 3 targets in the air. It's a giant. I believe it has a bit less HP than Overlord, and actually on that topic, Overlord has been increased to 500 cost now, and is 5x5 instead of 4x4 in volume or area. So some pretty spicy stuff going on. You know, the devs are always doing their best to change things up, and obviously with Season 2 around the corner here, big changes to come. So you'll see a lot of new stuff today. We have a new specialist, we have new starting units. Of course, we'll explain all of that to you as it comes. I expect to see quite a lot of Raiden use here today. I've been playing a little bit on the test server. It looks quite strong. At this point, it feels hard for a giant air unit not to be pretty strong. Overlord, of course, has had quite a lot of patches where it's very strong. So I'm pretty excited to see how people will be using that. I believe these players have all been practicing for this, so they do know how the new unit works. Hopefully we can break down all the text for you as well, because there's some spicy text on the Raiden. I like when they make new units and the texts are like completely unique. There's some nice chain abilities. Almost reminds me of like Farseer from Warcraft 3 or something like that. Also, a pretty new mechanic where you can deal percentage HP damage. I believe it's percentage current, but it might be percentage max, which of course would be very strong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's current. So you do need something to finish it off. So I'm hoping for some flashy games today. I don't believe people really know the best answer to this air unit yet. It has quite a long range and pretty disruptive abilities. It has EMP, which is pretty spicy. Like, you know, Overlord, for example, does not have EMP. So giving an air unit with multi-attacks, EMP, pretty scary. We can see a graphic here on the screen of the new unit. It's quite large. It's got a concentrated sort of weapon there in the front where the lightnings comes out. So by default, it attacks 3 times. I mean, things have to be in range, but most of the time that will be the case. It attacks pretty slow. Like, you definitely want chaff clear for it. I don't think this unit will ever function as a chaff clearing unit, but you know, it's not as bad as like say a marksman. So yeah, really unclear how to tech this thing yet. There's 2 different ways to give it more attack targets. So you can up it from like 3 to 5. And I believe one of them doubles the amount. Let me check that.
Hello, hello.
What's up, Brewster?
Just checking in.
Welcome, welcome. So yeah, Rooster will be joining me today to cast these games. I was just going over the Raiden's techs because they are quite
Oh,
spicy.
yeah, there are a bunch of new ones too.
Yeah, exactly, which is nice to see. I think for like a giant air unit, this is pretty crazy, giving it so many unique techs. So I'm just going over them here. Fork increases the amount of targets from three. By the way, a lot of these have drawbacks, which is kind of interesting design. So Fork increases it from 3 to 5. And decreases the range by 15. Chain decreases the range by 20, so you can really kill your range on this thing, but it just keeps getting stronger and stronger. So this one jumps to everything within 60 meters. So as long as you have targets, this thing will bounce like crazy.
Yeah, and basically what Fork does is it just ups the base projectiles from 3 to 5, so you don't lose any damage there. It's just going to go from the 3 beams to the 5. And then what Chain does is it adds for every initial projectile, you get 1 bounce that deals
Yes,
30%
that's right.
damage.
Yep,
So you can get up to like 10 bounces. 5 of them deal base damage, and then 5 of them deal 30%.
yep, yeah, pretty crazy.
It's really good against stuff like Wasp, because Wasp tends to be like the uncontested king of the air if it has the right techs. But if you can get up to like Fork plus Chain, that's just 10 Wasps dying in one shot.
Yeah, we might have a bit of an Exodia here, a new Exodia with this unit. I mean, this thing can just get out of control, right?
Yeah. Important to note as well is that it cannot jump from air to ground or ground to air. Like if it's shooting ground, it can only hit ground. If it shoots air, it can only hit air. But it does get really powerful with levels and techs. It kind of reminds me of Carry Boat in a way, and it seems to be played the same style too. Like you kind of see it with sledges. I think it'll be great with things like typhoons. The range is similar, so I'm not sure if you'd see it in standard all that much.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I think we have another medium-sized chaff unit killer, which is kind of crazy. Like poor steel balls, poor sledges.
Yeah, it's like we knew you liked Scorpion. How about a flying one?
Yeah, for real. And the air keeps getting stronger as well, right? Like we got Phantom Ray, and now we have Raiden. So aerial specialist
It's
stonks going up.
Yeah, it's back-to-back new air units. So yeah, we're getting crowded in the air department. I guess it kind of justifies the addition of Farseer as well as another like kind of do-it-all unit. Can help you deal with some air units every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. So I think EMP could be quite important against this unit. It's like kind of crazy. It's like whoever EMPs the other may just win the battle. Like this thing without
Yeah.
range feels a lot weaker, I think. Like, Marksman, for example, outranging it by quite a lot with anti-air is a pretty
Mm-hmm.
good answer. All right, we are getting into it. We see the training specialist
Oh baby.
and SMAMP core, aka amplifying specialist. We should go over the format really quickly once again. So every game is a cash game. It's basically what we're calling today is the debut cash games. So every win will give you $50. They're all doing best of ones. And then you can vote on your favorite game of the day, like whoever's using the new stuff the coolest, basically. And if we get enough votes on that, we will have a best of three at the very end of the broadcast for $300. So quite a lot of stakes there. Kind of incentivized to try everything out.
Yeah, it's a good way as well to make sure that we will see new stuff being played and not people just playing old stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Although there are a lot of changes, so you can't really go back to something like Typhoon Boat as easily. That thing now costs 500.
Yeah, that is so crazy. It's so big too. I wonder if that has ramifications for like how easily it's targeted. Like I imagine like orbital javelin now is like pretty sus to dodge. Stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
a pretty chunky boy, 5x5.
Yeah, it fits on the flank, right? But
Yeah, barely. You can fit a crawler in front still to protect it, I guess.
yeah. So to give a bit of background on this player, I did receive a note from GoDog, who's like sort of an ambassador of 201, handling the broadcast there. Not perfect translation, but he's a B-man hunter, so very good against B-man. He's obsessed with sniping
Oh.
B-Man, so probably a bit of a fan there. Yeah, basically all the notes are about B-Man. I think that's just his identity. Says
Hey,
killing B-Man twice a
that's
day.
fair enough. B-Man is an absolute legend in the
Yeah, for
community,
sure.
so.
For sure, he's a lot of fun to watch, even without speaking, Mandarin. I still get a kick out of him.
Now in this game, we start off with some Smab Spiders there, really powerful early on, just a bunch of crawlers being added by the red side, and Apuchi has Typhoon Specialist. Have to see which one of these players decides to pair it up with. I mean, we're expecting the Raiden, right? It's the big new addition, but there's some other stuff that's happened as well. That Sabretooth got a rework, looks different, has a slightly different set of stats. Shoots slower, but packs more of a punch. And also got a new tech, so be interesting to see here. Importantly, you can buy it now. Like, you don't even need to wait. You can
Yeah, that is
simply
so
unlock it.
cool. Really, really cool. It's always exciting to see changes to the starting units. Underground
And
threats.
Saber is good versus Tarantula, so maybe, just maybe, we
Ooh.
get to see it here.
Yeah, that's true. Now we just have a Predator that you can buy at any time. I mean, Phoenix was the old way, but Saber sort of better at it in a way, right?
Yeah, especially like if you can start with it, I think you'd be so sad if you start Spider into Saber.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like both are mirroring their underground threats here. Definitely some solid
Yeah,
tower
both.
pressure.
I'd say slightly better defense for now, though, coming out from Apuchi. Levels the tower and has a bunch of chaff on the right side to make sure that that doesn't go down. Phoenix has been added, though.
Yeah, we got
Will these
DPS on
Fangs
this fortified
survive?
tower. Yeah, true. Not a lot of anti-air.
I think the Fangs should be okay. They're in the front, but they will get overtaken, and those towers are both unleveled.
Oof. Oh, the timing, the exact same time.
Oh,
As you said, though, not many fangs here. Maybe enough, though.
I think they should be fine. Looks that way, at least. Damage kind of lacking still, so that Tarantula is tanky, but... Ooh, tower debuff. Could prove detrimental. It's a bit all over the place. There's still one more Tarantula alive. Yeah, never mind. That's simply going to be round going over here to the red side.
Yeah, Phoenix is really paying off. They're honestly one of the best round 2 units in the game. Unit drops. I believe Raidens can show up as as unit drops, which is also really spicy. Fire Badgers. Well, there are a lot of crawlers, and there's really good flanking opportunities for both players here. Look at them all in the flanks. I swear this is like the Badgers' identity.
I
They're
mean, when you
so
get
good.
3 of them, like, you
Yeah,
can
you gotta
kind of
put
just
some,
chuck them around, see if it sticks.
for sure. Look at the
And,
defensive one. That's kind of unique. Have you seen that very often for a Poochie there?
oh yeah, all the way in the flank. Interesting. I
Yeah.
guess it's a bit similar to the Arclight we see all the way in the back.
Yeah, it's like low-key tempting to like put a rhino there or something, like just beat up that corner.
I think the idea here is that maybe it like pulls all of the crawlers kind of away from the rest of the army on the right side, and then maybe the badgers can kind of weather the
Yeah.
debuff and then at least clear the crawlers. Yeah, level 3 tower now.
Mm.
It's very early on, round 3.
Yeah, I do kind of like it though, honestly. Like I like that he's being committed. I mean, he's not fully committed. He is defending it, but it's more like a I want to kill the chaff kind of defense,
Yeah,
not like,
it's proper crossfire. Like Apuchi is saying, I don't care about that tower. Like you can have it. I'm simply going to stay on my side, and that's going to be the end of it.
for sure. What he really needs is some DPS with his comp. Like Typhoon, not high DPS. Sledges, same thing. Badgers. So when will he
Well,
add his carry? Maybe Raiden,
you,
right? With
yeah, I
Typhoons.
was going to say, I think Raiden Badger sounds pretty good to me. Raiden Typhoon, you won't hear me complain.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it looks good too. They're good against killing badgers, right?
Yeah,
They
they're
fire
really,
3
really good.
times. There's 3 of them. Maybe a bit of a natural predator there.
It's interesting because you kind of want to pair it up with things like Badger, but then in a mirror, the unit itself is also very good into those mid-sized units, so
For sure. Maybe Typhoon really is the dream there. Like, with the bubbles, you guarantee don't die in one shot to the lightnings.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the easiest way to look at it is really just like, how would you have played carry boat? And that's just what you want to be playing with Raiden.
For sure. Well, more damage on Apuchi here. A little bit of a shaky start. The Typhoon didn't stabilize him just yet.
Just
Here
get
we
the
go.
redeployment there.
That's going to be fun because we already have a lot of flank action going on here. Raidens. We got a ball as well, by the way. Not good into Raidens, purely there to kill the tower, but like he had to unlock that, right? And it's just gonna like be terrible. Hmm. I would like to see a really strong Raiden commit here. There's
Yeah, I
tech.
think we're getting it.
Yeah, I mean he's gotta be careful about chaff clear too. Like, do you add more typhoons?
You might have. Yeah, it's a little bit dodgy, right? You've got Typhoon, but
Yeah, we have a good amount of
it's a
crawlers
whole
on the
lot of
board.
crawlers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 crawlers on the side of red here.
Well, you can just also buy more Raidens. You asked for a commitment, and the Pooch, I think, heard you. So here we go. 4 Raidens on the board.
Yeah, this will tell us how good they are at chaff clearing because they're gonna have to chaff
Phoenix
clear here.
got sold, though, or maybe moved?
Moved, yeah, redeploy.
It's a bit awkward. Like, there's nothing there to deal with the Raidens now. They
Yeah,
just
I'm not
got the free
sure.
fire. And we'll
Yeah,
have to keep an eye on their levels, because this unit completely takes off when it starts getting levels.
100%. I feel like we needed a really strong commit here to anti-air, and we did not get it, right? Like, we in fact sold an anti-air unit. So I really don't know what B-Man Killer is planning here. but that's gonna be a lot of damage. About 1,500, a bit less now after killing a Raiden. Couple levels available. Nothing super strong here. Mustang production line, I suppose. Pretty good for a Poochie here.
Yeah, you can also just say, you know, I don't want to invest all of that money. Let's get more techs, which I don't think
Yeah,
would be the worst.
for sure. Techs are so good on this unit, and he's kind of amassing a lot of these Raidens at this point, so not a bad line. But yeah, I think Apuchi does quite like these giant summoning items.
So yeah, we'll pick it up. Levels picked up on the Raiden as well. 600 credits left. I don't think that'll be quite enough to get a tech, unless he wants to sell something. And we get the counter Raidens.
Counter
It's a bit late, but
Raidens. I feel he's very back and forth. Like Phoenix goes to the left. Nope, just kidding. Phoenix is back to the right. I don't know if there's enough assets here in the corner to win the headbutt.
yeah, he's gonna need range at least on the Raidens, but the level disadvantage is going to hurt.
Yeah, I feel like with Overlords, it doesn't matter too much if it's white versus blue, but maybe it matters more for Raidens. Because we got two blues here for Apuchi.
Yeah, it's two blues and the range as well.
Yeah.
Fifth Raiden on the board for Apuchi.
Yeah, really strong commit. Feels like red kind of all over the place. He does commit the range on the Raidens, but he's heavily outnumbered here. Pretty strong boil as well. That's going to protect his tower for the perfect amount of time for the headbutt to resolve itself.
I
Zap
mean,
zap.
how cool does that animation look, by the way?
Oh, it's
It is
so
very
good.
epic.
Yeah, the devs are very good at that. Like, the very first day Wraith came out, everybody was so amazed with the graphical details, and this unit as well looks really good.
But yeah, having a look at what's surviving here, I think this is just going to be game over.
That's it. $50 to Apuchi. Definitely a pretty nice game. Maybe we'll have something even more spicy. We'll have to see.
But already, I think we're getting a good insight into the power of this unit.
Yeah, definitely still learning its identity. It did look good to me in the headbutts. It does also look like a unit you need to answer really, really quickly, right? It's kind of like Overlord. It's like if you see two on the board, you can't just dilly dally, right? You have to immediately create a strong response. And selling a marksman, probably not the response you're looking for there.
Yeah, I really wonder if he took it thinking he would have a marksman and then realized he didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely possible. But I mean, even if you don't have it, you probably should keep it there. Like
Yeah.
but tough to say. Like he did have a Phoenix, so I do kind of get it, but he didn't buy more Phoenixes either. So yeah, a little bit, maybe just a little bit unsure what to do in a spot like that. So up next we have Red Hair, aka Fang Fang, against Forgotten Arbiter. Very, very strong matchup here. I don't think the players need much of an introduction. We may need to move on from Arbiter though, as we have not had a check-in. Maybe we can get him in on a later game. We'll just be pausing a few moments here to double check on that. He might be arriving any minute, so we may have to move on and catch him in game 3 or something like that. We also have Misum in game 3 against Blue Hair. That's a nice matchup. I don't think I've seen them play very much. Blue Hair is another 201 player who is not afraid to do aggro or really crazy things, whereas Misum does aggro as well, but maybe a bit more towards the standard style.
Yeah, blue hair is definitely the more loose cannon out of those two.
Yeah,
Likes to experiment a lot, and I think that might help him when players might not have yet figured out what is best to play with these new units on the new patch.
yeah, for sure. And Misum, of course, is a balanced dev. I'm sure he's gotten more experience out of anybody with the new units and maybe even helped design some of it. So that's obviously really interesting. We'll see if that helps him against blue hair. Blue hair
Yeah.
could be a pretty adaptive player, I would say, considering how crazy his strategies are. So he might just have a knack for how this unit fits into the meta. Looks like
Yeah,
we
and you did
are
mention
adjusting the
another.
schedule here. Sorry, just to walk over you there, but it looks like we are
Oh
going to
yeah.
be doing Beesom here. Hopefully those players are ready. So that's pretty spicy here. And again, the players know that you can vote for whoever has the the most interesting game debuting the new units, the new SBCs. So they're going to be incentivized to get pretty spicy here. So we might even see a headbutt despite 201. It's not really their signature move.
I think the unit has got some potential defensively though, so if maybe Meeson and Blue Hair can handshake and be like, okay, if you push, then I can defend. But you mentioned a good thing earlier on. Like Meeson as a dev, he might have a little bit of experience already.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I bet he has like a lot on his plate too. Like, I bet he's like probably trying like three new units behind the scenes, right? So like, yeah, it's hard to say if he's like really in the best position to know like the current meta, where because like some of these players have been jamming games on the new server, the new unit, whereas Misa might have like a whole lot on his plate, right?
Yeah, true. We've been mentioning Raiden a bunch because obviously it's like the most exciting one, but we might just get games where people are indeed playing that new Sabretooth or just showcasing the new specialist, right? We've got the intensive special, or the training specialist, I believe it's called. We did see it briefly, but it wasn't picked last game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, there's lots of new ways that the game is going to change. It's not just Raiden. I would say Raiden's the biggest thing. I mean, I guess that's debatable too. Saber has always been a pretty strong unit, so it's also kind of has big implications. I'm not 100% sure if it's a strong starting unit or not. Like, I feel like if you hit into Tarantula, you're extremely happy. Otherwise, maybe not super strong.
Yeah, it's a bit comparable to Tarantula, right? Like it's equally tanky, so they'll be just as annoying to deal with. But then,
Yeah,
um, it does have that inherent tankiness, and then it's probably a bit matchup dependent. I guess if you're into storms, you're probably a little bit unhappy, but into other stuff, it can probably just kind of tank through it.
for sure. I mean, it kind of could be cool to like have anti-missile technology on it. Like, say you start off Saber start against a Storm start, like in standard, you could honestly go deep into them. So yeah, they could have a good matchup there. Oh, by the way, we are because Arbiter's not around right now, we may be able to fit him in later. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna have a Poochie step in. So Poochie gets another chance for himself here. Gets to earn possibly more money, take down more 201s.
Yeah, and Blue Hair going to try and step up for his region and dethrone Mr. Consistent, at least when it comes to these type of tournaments.
Yeah, for sure. Poochie known to be a 201 killer, so we'll see if he has another good performance here. I have not watched these two play too much. In fact, I don't watch Blue Hair a lot recently. I think he's like a little bit off and
Yeah,
on with the game. I'm not really sure.
I haven't seen him play too much either as of late, so that might play to his advantage. It might not.
Yep. I'm just praying we get some, amplifying specialists. We get some training specialists. I think the training specialist actually is a pretty good SPC.
Yeah, it at least looks like another fun one
Hmm.
with perhaps a bit of a different playstyle. It's not offered though. We do have the two most recent ones, Missile Spec and Amplify Spec on the Poochie side.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Couple
However,
tarantulas.
Fortified Spec in the bottom right corner
Hmm.
does have that Sabretooth.
5k HP too.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
here's the
solid
matchup.
amount.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh. Into the
Hmm.
storms though.
Yeah, I can't really tell how bad this is gonna be. You also have fangs, whereas like you probably prefer crawlers.
Yeah. I mean, you probably
Maybe.
need to buy some sort of chaff clear here, you have to imagine.
Yeah.
if you're blue hair.
I think I would just do crawlers maybe, but arc lights are so OP. Maybe you do just jam an arc light or two.
It's good to see that blue hair does have the new tech equipped, by the way. He's got those secondary armaments, cheek guns, as I've heard some of the community members call them.
Yeah, let's read this out. So install one secondary gun on both the left and right sides of the saber tooth. Secondary gun has a range of 95, which is the same range as the saber, but I imagine the range tech would not amplify that. Every 4
No.
seconds to deal 2000 damage, and then levels do increase it. So the secondary armaments deal like kind of like a quarter of the normal saber tooth damage. So it's kind of like a chin gun a little bit, right? Or like the War Factory side guns.
Yeah, it's comparable to chin gun on both. But you get
Yeah.
two of them, and it's kind of nice. They don't have splash, and they don't scale with any of the other techs, so don't get excited. Ooh, I get like double shot side armaments. You don't. Um, but it does help because again, the Sabertooth got an attack interval nerf. It now deals more damage. It deals 7.6k, I believe, up from 6k damage, but the interval went up from 3 to 3.6.
Mm.
And the armaments can definitely help it to clear whatever is in front of it a bit faster.
Yeah, it makes sense. I wonder if it could be a good tower sniper, but I guess 95 range is not a lot, right? Like, that's what Chin Gun's so good for, is that it has a massive range.
Yeah, it does get a little bit awkward. Like, it means that you need to probably just play your if you're planning to tech it, you probably just need to never go range on your sabers.
Improved
Improved
Overlord.
Overlord.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that would be a 600 cost Overlord.
Yeah, it's now 500 cost instead of 400 cost with this new patch here, so that would be a really big commitment. Oh my gosh, he goes for it. He wants the
Oh
spice
my.
factor, you know?
Yeah. Hey, I think that's a good strategy.
In for a penny, in for a pound, I guess.
And into Sabretooth, I mean, if he's running Chin Gun or whatever he may be running now, it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, what's interesting is that he cannot afford it this turn, obviously, so his hand is shown. Blue hair knows that it's here. Doesn't really have anti-air to speak of, so he could blindly buy like Phoenix's next turn, I guess. Maybe we get free unit drops. That could also be a pretty good answer here. Like I would take a melter for sure, or like marksman or something.
Yeah, you have to assume that Blue Hair would pick up on this and respect it. Can't really let an air unit like that just run rampant for one turn, level up. Like, that's
For
all kinds of
sure.
bad.
You know what's an interesting question is I wonder if the missiles got more HP on them with respect to anti-missile devices. Because like, it's cost
Ooh.
more now, so
Yeah, I didn't see any notes about that, but
I mean we never get notes about that, right? It's the black
yeah,
box. Nobody knows how
true,
it
true.
works.
Yeah, the right side here for Apuchi, not doing all too much there. Tower's been leveled, Arclight's kind of just farming, so for now it seems Blue Hair is in a slightly better spot.
Yeah, Arclight's doing a lot of work there, really efficient, letting the blue crawlers just run in. May even level the Arclight and just continue defending it in this manner. But really not a super important round overall. It's really going to come down to the unit drop coming up on round 3 or round 4 and how Apuchi decides to lean into the Overlord. He could never buy an Overlord, but then he'd be down 100, so we'll have to see.
Round 3, do we get free units? We don't, so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for next round.
Yeah, nothing super relevant here, I think. I guess you could take extended range marksman for your improved Overlord answer as red hair here, blue hair here. But it feels a little weird to me. I feel like both players want to stall. Well, especially blue hair wants to stall. Wait for his free unit drop. Apuchi, I think, could just commit hard here. Although his money is tough to get out the unit, right? Maybe
He
like
still
sell
doesn't
a
have the
storm.
money for it. Yeah, he would have to sell, but I don't think that's something you want to do.
Yeah, that's fair. Like
He
maybe the
probably just
sell
wants to
button's
wait
good.
it out as well. Like, kind of see what the unit pack will
Nope.
offer next turn.
Just doing it. And why do we have a wasp?
Oh boy. Well, we need anti-air, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I'm
I
not
mean, the
sure if
thing
the
is,
Overlord will be impressed, but
yeah, I mean, it has more splash, right? 12 splash. Those wasps are like they have no chance.
it's a
27,000
hefty
HP.
boy.
Yeah, for sure.
And looking at the techs, yeah, Poochie running carry techs now.
Yeah. No splash. Back to the photon. Nice missile here. Getting almost all the crawlers. Did get all of them. And then Saber's slowed. Oh no, there is a few crawlers. But just an impossible round to win here. The boats just easily got this. Look at that splash here from the improved. Get an extra 5 splash.
Yeah, I don't think you can play this with Wasp. That
No, it's
Overlord is
weird.
way too tanky.
Yeah, I feel like you at least gotta like flank with it or do something weird with it. I think he just like
Yeah.
covered his own flank basically.
Either way, we will get those free units, so might make up for the lack of anti-air so far. Overlord does level up, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I guess the levels are more efficient compared to the past, right? Like, I mean, oh, actually, I'm
Yeah,
not
they
sure
don't
about
cost
that.
more, I
They
think.
don't? Okay. Yeah, I guess
No,
that
I
would be the
think it's still
question.
200. Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful then. Not that they're the best unit to level, but, you know, sometimes it is important.
There we
There's the
go. Free units.
drop.
Bunch of
Holy.
anti-air units. Whoa. Pick your
Yeah.
poison.
What is the poison here? I think it's the marksman.
I mean, like, Mustang usually was pretty good into Overlord, but I'm not sure they can deal with, like, a 50k health.
Yeah, and there's more splash as well because it's improved, right? Does he
Yeah.
have anti-air? That's really the question here. He does. Okay. He's done his homework. He's adjusted his text. He knows it's an air patch.
Oh, I've actually just looked at it, and it seems like it is more expensive. I think the upgrade costs 250 now.
Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. It is usually just
Yeah,
half,
the
right?
selling cost is
Across the board.
850, so yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good check there. Okay, so not crazy efficient to level. But he does it anyways. He wants to have a really strong carry. You know, maybe he gets a good equipment drop later.
And yeah. Blue Hair sees this coming is like, I might just have to click the aerial specialization.
Yeah, I mean, Apuchi's already unlocked it. He's already uh, bought one. He took the improved Overlord card. That's a lot of assets, invested. So I think it makes sense. And he puts a marksman all the way in the back as well, which is kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, this board from Mapuche is just all boats, really. It's just chaff and one big boat that needs to do all of the heavy lifting. Does have an Arclight friend to try and chaff clear a little bit.
I'm a little nervous for him. I think the boat will just die this round. Maybe not, actually. There's a lot of stuff in front. Oh, we got a lock on.
Oh, it's big, 55k hit points. It can tank some of these shots, but
It's like it's 7
marksman chipping
shots.
away. Yeah, multiple marksman locking on now, so I do think it will fall.
Oof.
Now, some of these techs did change. One of them is Mothership, since the boats got 25% more expensive. The Mothership now also gives 25% more wasps, which translates into 5 wasp spawned instead of 4.
Yeah, yeah, pretty interesting. I think that's a good change. I mean, it already was a very strong tech, but I think it makes sense to leave things as they are. See how the new Overlord, you know, does in the new patch state.
Yeah, and the chin gun got slightly more powerful too. It scales a bit better, deals a bit more base damage.
Yeah, and otherwise just the base stats, I believe, right? Like attack
Yeah,
damage,
it's
health.
tankier, it deals a bit more damage. That's
Yeah,
about it though. Same base
not a
range,
huge
same base speed.
change. Maybe they just wanted to not have two giant air units of the
I mean,
same cost.
is it a giant? Do we call it does it qualify as a titan?
Yeah, we need new
We've had
names.
that name like kind of flung around here and there, and I'm willing to put the War Factory in that bracket and Nell, I guess, the new survival and free for all units, but Overlord, it might be a super giant. Maybe I'm willing to give it that title, but
Yeah, for sure. just says giant aircraft. So for now, it's a giant. Maybe eventually we'll get to a state where we have like a whole rainbow of costs, maybe with some different names. This missile strike looks pretty devastating here. Doesn't kill the marksmans, right? No, so
No, the marksman should be fine.
much better here for blue hair. There's the commit on the boats. I mean, more commit.
Second tech. Range and overload now.
He needs to stop the lock-ons, right? I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, if the boats can live and they have some sort of front line, they should be able to just do everything. They've got that bonus splash, which is really nice. So if the game goes long enough, they should just be able to take care of every single job.
Well, he didn't put a lot into protecting it.
Yeah, it's expensive. 600 plus second tech on round 5. I'm even surprised he managed to get that on the board.
Yep, no lock yet. Maybe he's good. Really powerful now. It's got range and launcher, so it's just completely shredding.
Yeah, and the chaff so far seems to be doing a good job. And I mean, look at that splash.
Oof. Might lose no boats here. Yep.
Marksmen don't stand a chance, and that's 2 levels yet again. Level 3 Overlord, level 2 Overlord, potentially for Apuchi next turn.
That's 1,000 damage coming in, potentially. Oh?
I didn't even think about this, but it does just deal the full value.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, boats have always been kind of a killer of, player HP damage. Now it's tougher to mass them, but... Oh, by the way, do you think mass-produced boat is still a thing? It must be, right? I mean, improved
mass-produced
is
boat.
still...
Ah, yeah,
Hmm.
probably. I think most of the
Probably like
mass-produced
100
giants
cheaper.
are quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, this EMP kind of nasty. Feels kind
Yeah,
of
that is...
backbreaking.
yeah, that is like...
His techs are his main investment, right? Like, honestly.
Well, he does have photon, but I doubt he'll be able to get it. But yeah, it's a bit of a painful positioning realization there.
Yeah. I guess, like,
I
he
guess...
could start attacking the other side.
I mean, if the EMP hits in return, if the marksmen lose their AA, I
Yeah.
think he's completely fine.
Yeah, that could be the case. I mean, the boats still have really good splash, so they will contribute quite well to the chaff clear.
Adding a third one in the middle, and we've got
Ooh.
Raiden now on the other side.
Does that even make sense? Is that good?
Hey, I don't really care, to be honest with you. I I'm happy that we're seeing it.
Hmm.
And look, we can chalk it up to they don't know what they're doing. So whether it's good or not, that's what we're here to figure out.
Yeah, true. Very,
Doesn't
very
have
interesting.
the ionization tech available, and that's going to get clicked. Interesting. So it's not a tech that
Does
I
make
played with
sense.
myself, but it's a giant killer tech. You lose 70% base attack, which is quite hefty, but your attacks now deal 40% of the target's current HP.
Yes, very interesting here. It's a bit of a David versus Goliath situation here. The boats are much bigger for now, but we do have the
Can we get a lock
ionization.
on?
Ooh.
Oh, not quite. It does arc between those boats, and
Yeah, it
every
was a lot
single
of
one deals
damage.
40%.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dead.
Oh, the boat with this dying breath, though.
Ooh, really close round. Not
Close
much
round,
damage.
yeah.
I thought the Raidens were gonna get completely smacked, but honestly, ionization looking
I
pretty good there.
Yeah, that's without range, mind you. And
Yeah,
ionization is one of the few techs that does not lose you the base range, unlike the fork and the chain.
yeah.
Sledgehammers there picked up. Round 7. Blue hair going melter. Sells one of them. Still try and get into that right tower. Which is relatively undefended, and level 2 tower. Still 7 seconds of debuff that is worth going for.
100%. Yeah, this is exactly what we were saying about blue hair being a little bit unhinged relative to other 201s. I like that
I
he's
mean,
not
just
teching it,
look
although
at
he is
that
tech
board.
spec. Yeah, yeah, this is not your normal game. I do like the underground crawler here. Just need
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of nukes.
good versus the Mustangs in the back. Get that additional speed when traveling, so it might help dodge some of the Overlord missiles as well. It's one of the big differences, right, between the new Raiden and the Overlord. The Overlord can miss its target, the Raiden cannot. It will always
Yeah,
hit.
yeah, for sure. That is definitely interesting.
Range, by the way, picked up, so I'm expecting the Raidens to just do even better now. And I'm wondering if those damage numbers are accurate or not.
On the Raiden?
Yeah, I don't think they are.
Nah, nah, there's
I don't
no
think it's
way.
accounting for like the 40%, which might be, I think is the same with like Ignite. It is a bit of a
Yeah.
similar tech to Ignite.
Yeah, they should probably fix that if it's not too hard technically, because it is nice to know like how much that tech does, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, it does not get blocked by Photon.
Yeah, there's no
So,
counter yet, really,
yeah.
right? Not much counterplay. I mean, there's EMP, of course.
Yeah. Of course, we can disable the tech, but it's very similar to Ignite, but Ignite gets countered by Photon. This does not seem to have that same mechanic.
Yeah, like the Wraith had degen introduced, and then they like promptly added it to the list of photon. But now we have a new
Yeah.
effect, which I think is a good addition to the game. I think it is cool to deal percentage damage in this fashion, all up at once, not over time.
True, and looking at the tech itself, it doesn't look like it's one of those, oh, I can always pick this and it's always going to be good. Like, you lose a
Nah,
lot for it. 70% attack reduction is massive, and again, it only deals 40% current HP, it doesn't deal max HP, so
right. A different from
the
Ignite
damage
there,
does,
right?
like, yeah,
Yeah,
like, you do need something else to kind of help it out finishing off its target.
yeah. Pretty cool design there. Looks
Fire
like the melter's
Stormcallers.
answered. Yeah, he wants to
Now,
light the ground on fire. Is that
that
good?
oil was not put by him there, though.
Yeah.
So the crawlers might just look back at Blue Hair this turn and be like, really? I'm not sure that's what he wanted. He is going to light the oil on fire. I guess we're just trading chaff this turn. Look at the amount of boats. I mean, you're going to run out of space at some point here, Ipuchi.
Yep.
They do look comically big.
Ooh, the AMDs. Very interesting.
Oh, we'll get to see. Well, maybe.
Yeah, we get a data
If
point here. Let's see. Nothing gets through in the first volley. I think a little bit on the second volley.
I think based off of that, I'm already pretty confident in saying that they did not get more hit points.
Yeah.
Kinda looks
Well,
like just old Overlord in terms of interception.
yeah, could still be adjusting the numbers, of course. They do have, a week left before the new season.
Ooh.
Man, the ionization is crazy, along with the
Yeah, it is
marksman.
going ham. Overlords, though, getting things done, and we're getting to the stage of the game where Pucci might consider getting a third tech. I think Shielded Wasps here
Yeah,
does
yeah,
not
I
sound
like
too
that.
bad.
That sounds really good. I think you could even buy some, just buy 3 manually.
Vulcan Phoenix
Hmm.
Factory Phantom Ray. Is there anything in here that you'd like?
Or Factory AMD is the play for blue hair here. Vulcans for a Poochie. I think the Vulcans make sense. Uh, I'm just like, I think he needs the Wasps. I think you're absolutely correct.
But if you're playing Vulcan, are you clicking Incendiary? Or are you just going like range?
Hmm. It's a tough call. I don't play Vulcan super often, so it's not easy for me to figure that out. I feel like I would throw fire, but got the photon.
Oh, wow.
Oh my.
Quad tech. Did not expect that.
Yeah, just to prevent the EMP here, which does make sense. It's can't really accept losing your techs on your carry unit, your improved carry unit.
And yeah, I mean, at this point, Apuchi doesn't have to worry about the Overlord techs anymore. He's got them all. You're safe. You're free to spam them. They cannot scale anymore apart from levels.
Yep. Aside from wasps here, what are you looking at for a Poochie? Because that's the main thing for me. He needs to kill crawlers to
Uh,
do well, basically.
3 boats a turn, baby.
Yeah, yeah, it could be it, right? They're
Three
really
boats a turn
efficient.
until you win.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He might have to unlock one wasp to just get the shield, but
Yeah, it should be worth it. He is summoning quite a lot of wasps up front. How will the AMDs do
Raiden though,
here?
doing pretty
It's
well, but
it's taking damage.
whoa. Suddenly some of those missiles get through and the level 3 overlords. Damage is just insane.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of damage like we talked about earlier, 500 apiece here.
Wait, is this over?
It is, right?
Yeah, that's it for the game.
Wow. Poochie with another win.
Welcome to season 2. That is some crazy damage right there.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So boat's definitely still a scary Exodia carry unit. I've been quite high on improved Overlord. Like I bounced the idea around some top players, and they're always concerned about AMDs. But I'm not sure you need to be so afraid of it.
I mean, it did not look like it was doing anything there. Now, of course, those boats were level 3 quad tech monsters, but still, that was 2 war factories, right? And they kind of looked small compared to that new Overlord.
It's just the amount of AMDs you need to prevent every single like you cannot allow many rockets to go through, right? Because they just deal so much damage per rocket. Overlords are such a high DPS unit, so it feels a little all or
Yeah,
nothing
it might just not be worth it, right?
for sure.
It
Just
might just
rather
be better to
focus.
try and focus on getting them down. Like get your
Yeah,
marksman, or if you want to play Raiden, do that.
yep. Just the secret formula. You need the wasp killers, like usually Mustangs, and then you need something, especially if you can prioritize air. That's very really strong. So like marksmans or anti-air on your Mustangs. Pretty much anything outside of that feels risky to me. Like trying to rely on a unit like Wraith or like Phantom Wraiths, just like it feels so risky.
We have seen a lot of Raiden, which is understandable. It's kind of the star of the show, but still hoping to get at least one game with that new specialist. And maybe Sabretooth with the side armaments could be cool.
Yeah, for sure. It looks really cool. I mean, I haven't seen it visually yet, but I love the idea. I always like to see techs that are just completely novel, you know?
The one rough bit is that Saber does not really help into Raiden, so you might get a bit of a mismatch where even if you want to
Yeah,
play Saber, you might not get to if the other wants to play Raiden.
for sure. We have a question in chat. Why did Poochie play in 2 games? Unfortunately, we had a dropout. Somebody couldn't make it, so we were just filling in. So again, to go over the format today, we are debuting the new units and the new changes upcoming in season 2, which will be launching on January the 2nd. We have a new starting unit. Like it's not a new unit, but it's a new starting unit, the Sabertooth. It's been redesigned with a new tech and new stats. We have a new specialist, training SBC. What was it again? uh,
Yeah,
anyways, it starts
training
with 50.
specialist.
Okay, gives you 50 supplies up front, just a one-time benefit, and then you have the spell intensive training, where you can level up a unit once every 2 turns. Boats now cost 500 instead of 400, and we're adjusted to be a bit more strong to compensate. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, we have Raiden, which is a air unit that's giant. It shoots 3 lightning bolts, and it's been looking really good, I have to say. And just to
Yeah, it
finish up
looks
on the
like
production here, we have these. Every game is $50 cash, and you can vote on your favorite game of the day, and we will compile all the results. And then at the very end of the broadcast, we will have a best of 3 for $300. So don't be shy to tell us if you're enjoying these games, which games are the spiciest, and the players are going to try their best to showcase all the new stuff.
Ooh, and we're right into game 3 here, and I can see the new specialist. Will it be picked up? Training specialist there for Misim.
It's got to pick it, man. Oh, but we do get the
Goes
saber.
for the saber pack, you know, respectable. We'll allow it.
Nothing super spicy for Fang Fang, aka Red Hair here. It goes with the supply specialist.
And Red Hair, very known to be a very high tempo player. Um, can be really oppressive if he gets rolling and you don't have the right answer. We'll see
100%.
how he manages to implement that playstyle on test server today.
Yeah, will we see a Phoenix here? He has the 250 because he's supply SBC here. He could also buy a saber, but it seems a little sus.
Yeah, I mean he could go like Phoenix, I guess. Opts to go for crawlers instead.
Yeah, wants to take his time here, see how the board develops, figure out if he's in a headbutt or asymmetrical. Probably a pretty strong round here for Misim to start things off. Might need a little bit of help from the cards.
And it seems like it's going to be another crossfire here, reminiscent of that first game between Epucci and remind me,
Sorry, I was
Enan
looking at chat.
Slayer.
What's that? Oh, yeah, yeah. That guy is pretty much just known for slaying B-Man. We don't really know much else, but yeah, fan of B-Man, has a good winning record against him. I would be pretty annoyed, man. Imagine there's somebody in your chat who just like snipes you all the time and has like a 70% win rate against you.
Hey, it's part of the trade.
Yep, that's part of streaming, as I'm sure
Sabers
you
here
know.
though, having a field day.
Casual 600 damage to start things off. Not too shabby. Think we need some help here. Snap picks.
Mass-produced sledgehammer from Misim.
Pretty interesting choice. Like, they're not super good into Raidens, but they're mass produced, so maybe they are. Like, it's so cheap to get out 15 bodies, and the Raidens only shoot 3. Look at this Wasp play. It's kind of giving me, like, Flower Fairy vibes. But Red Hair, known to do this as well.
I mean, that is just going to be a default win.
Yeah, and he may have stuff left over because he's going to be kind of crushing here, right? Like, the Wasp DPS super good. He's going to get the tower pretty quick. Wasps
And
are
usually when you
fast.
do this, like, wasps instantly level up, which means that they are
Yeah.
kind of a pain to deal with. You can't buy just untacked Mustang. They will lose. Um, so it'll be good to see how Misim decides to deal with this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got 50-50 chance of unit drops, and of course the Raiden, the new giant air unit, could be one of those options here. They do look pretty good for both players, I would say. Let's see, we may have some sledges left over here for a bit more damage, potentially. Oh, maybe not. Just the air win
No,
here.
just the wasps. 80k damage to this turn. Putting
Dang.
in the work.
It's just like a chaff unit, but has a lot of damage per supplies. Snap pick there of the Fire Badgers.
I saw this earlier as well. Misim taking his time.
I mean, there's a lot of strong options here, right? I don't think it's
Yeah,
clear.
I'm not even a big hater of that Wraith, potentially, because with the jump drive, it's unlikely that the Wasp will be able to deal with the Wraith, but goes for the Fire Badgers instead.
Pretty good with fortified spec, I guess. Just have a lot of meaty boys. Mass-produced sledge, I don't know how much more we'll see about that. And we'll have to see what the wasp answer is going to be. And that wasp can be anywhere, by the way. It was clicked jump drive immediately, just literally for the movement speed. Maybe the mental damage as well.
Yeah, and for now, it seems like it's kind of getting disrespected. Like, Double Fang, I don't think cuts it. It takes a really long time for Fang to kill level 2 Wasp.
For sure, maybe with a tower fortification, but even then, I'm not super optimistic about it. I mean, there is the fortification, but oh, the Wasp might just steal another round here.
Yeah, and the annoying bit is that, you know, even if only the Wasps survive, you might not take that much damage, but you might also like prevent yourself from dealing good damage to your opponent. Like you might have a very oppressive board, but the Wasps just keep stealing rounds.
Yeah, 100%. It's not like we can wait for a unit drop now too, like the next unit drop, so I think we're gonna need to see a better unit than Fang here. Just the power of getting a Wasp so early.
Bit of a Fire Badger versus Fire Badger matchup in the bottom left corner.
Well, we got Fortified SBC, so we should see that be a win there for Meeson.
Yeah, they also still had to spawn in, so
Yeah, yeah, true. Got one pack of Fang left to kill the Wasp.
board is a bit all over the place, but it looks like Red Hair here does have a lot of units left alive. And I mean, just look at the Wasp damage again, getting over 80k damage.
That's crazy.
2 turns in a row. Never mind, make that 103,000.
Level would be huge, but he's not quite gonna get it. Yeah, I'm not
Even
sure.
without it, like, I think you're happy with that.
Yeah, it's like maybe you can handle it with Fangs, but it's so sketchy.
Instant
Nothing,
skip there from both players.
yeah, nothing special. There's the Raiden.
Ooh.
There's the Raidens. Well, there's your Wasp
Both
answer.
of them.
Maybe,
Yeah, I mean, it's good if you have like the fork techs, but wonder how
yeah,
good it is if it doesn't have those just yet.
yeah. I mean, probably terrible, right? But once you get enough of them, I mean, it's not like Red Hair will go deeper into Wasp. I think he'll just have the one for the rest of the game. So maybe you just spam
Yeah,
enough
that'll just
Raidens.
move around, deal with that Badger flank in the top left.
Yep. So again, we see
Double Raiden.
Badgers against Raidens, right? Like I honestly feel like that's pretty rough. Like it's just a natural predator, right? The Raidens shoot exactly 3 missiles or 3 zaps, whatever.
Yep,
And do they one shot?
they
They do
do.
one shot. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's
that's
not a good
brutal.
matchup. But that's
I
like
wonder
the
if
awkward bit of it. Because you kind of want to pair them up with Badger. So when you end up in these type of mirrors, like, you kind of both want to play Badger, but you also don't.
yeah, maybe it's a trap. I'm not sure. Maybe you sell out of them if you get into a mirror. But it's definitely possible these are like a new Exodia, so people might be spamming this quite a bit. Look at that,
Oh.
locked on.
Yeah, just look at the spread as well on those lightning bolts.
Yeah, if you were frustrated with your Overlord missing, that is no longer a problem with the Raiden.
Yeah, that's been fixed. Raiden is here. Mustang production line picked up there. A bunch of decent items. Absorption module, I don't know how good it is. Maybe Raiden not necessarily one of the tankiest units.
Yeah, I like all the options, honestly. Like, we have no techs yet, so even efficient tech research looks
True.
okay.
Yeah.
Could have a level 3 Raiden, but nope. Wants the Mustang summon. Kind of makes sense when you're in a, like, asymmetric headbutt. There's a lot of time where you're busy killing each other's towers, so you get to spawn out a lot of units. Oh, the Link. I think that's half the reason you go mass-produce sledges, right?
Okay, I tried playing this. It's so unplayable into EMP, by the way. Like, if this Raiden gets to, like,
Oh,
fork EMP, now there's no chain, but every single one of those bolts EMPs. So you can get up to, like, 10
yeah.
EMP hits all across the field, and it just travels through the whole link of sledges. It's awful.
Yeah, that is interesting. I feel like EMP will become a staple for top level players. Just kind of makes sense that you want your carry to be able to deal with units that are going to counter it.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind this level 2 Raiden does one-shot the entire level 1 pack.
Oh my gosh, you are correct. I don't think
The
I don't
level
I,
1 two-shots it, but yeah.
I feel like when you link your sledges, you're saying to yourself they're not going to get one shot.
Yeah, no, you do not
So
expect it. But I played one game and I was sitting there like, hmm, this is not great.
Yeah, might be a grim outlook here for Misim. He has a lot of HP total, but a little bit of a sketchy outcome here. Do we just need to go deeper into the sledges? Opium.
Surely at some point you'll have enough of it.
Yeah, no, I
I mean,
think
like
it's
the problem is that like the damage kind of travels through. So whereas if it's a leveled Raiden, it will have easily enough damage to kill multiple sledges. Normally it can only kill 3, but now because they're linked, it can kill the whole pack.
yeah, that's true. More
More
summons.
production. Wow. Gotta catch them all. Which one are we missing? Sledgehammer production.
Sledgehammer, yeah. We need more. Gotta
You
summon
can get
sabers.
duplicates too, so.
Yeah, true. But what is the play here? Do you think it's just spam Raidens for both sides, or is it like get like Mustangs or like Mustangs are okay into Raidens if you can get them blue Mustangs and have anti-air clicked?
Yeah. I mean, I think so far you're happy if you're red hair, right? Like you can just kind of play towards fork.
Yeah.
It's not the best chaff clear units, but with numbers it can kind of get there.
Yeah, looks like we're just in an arms race. And it feels like red hair is a bit ahead in the arms race.
Yeah, but Misim has the advantage of having hit points. Like still at 4k.
Yeah. We'll see if that
There's a
matters
lot
or
of
not.
giants on board, so hand swing very quickly.
These poor, poor sledges.
Yeah. uh,
Maybe you like level your tower all the way up, but there are balls being summoned, so oof. That's a lot of damage.
yeah, there's simply like too much chaff remaining on the left side for Misim to deal with, so even when he gets tower, he still has to deal with all the chaff.
Wonder how good shielded wasp would be. Get 12 bodies that have to be hit twice.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
But you just want to buy Raidens, right? That's the problem.
Yeah, the one thing
Deploy
again is
starved.
it doesn't have the spawning tech like the Overlord had, so that is maybe one of its weaknesses.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Sandworm picked up there. Is it going to be played or is it going to be sold?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he could use some tank value. Typhoon's here. Don't know how good they'll be. They're not good against Raidens, right? What is the breakpoints here? They have 11,000 HP. A white Raiden does 6,600, so just a clean two-shot. The blues will just one-shot them outright. I did mention they are good with Raidens earlier because, like, if you get the barriers going, it takes a lot of
Yeah.
shots overall to kill them, but I don't know if we have the tempo to really lean into that at this stage of the
Yeah,
game.
I had a game where my opponent was playing Raiden on the test server, and I managed to just like full Typhoon carry them down. But it was mainly got to do, I think, because I got like a level 3 Typhoon on turn 4,
Yeah,
and that opens up the pathway to that type of gameplay.
100%. That must be one of the most strong drops, right?
Yeah, it's insanely powerful.
Yeah, this unit summoning would be pretty obnoxious. I'm kind of glad it doesn't summon as well.
No, I think they made a good call there.
Yeah, it's just really good at fighting, basically.
Yeah, great at fighting, fantastic scaler. One of them already level 3 there on the board for red hair. Although I guess Misim has one as well, all the way on the far right. Still no second tech though. Both of them happy to just have range.
The Typhoons are all late. That's kind of an interesting choice. It makes sense. Like, if you put them too high up, they just die really quickly.
Nice
but I
use
don't
of the
know.
oil.
Yeah, yeah, it's really strong.
That makes a big difference. All that chaff was creating problems last game, or last turn.
This worm though
At
is
least he
kind of a
won't be able
menace.
to. Yeah, I just clicked the armor for the hit points, but it's pretty much undamaged still.
Giga Raiden, Giga Raiden. No.
It's a nice play from Red Hair, realizing here that without the ionization, the damage is just not high enough for Meeson to
Yeah,
take this giant down.
exactly. Yeah, I like the worm there. Probably ionization will come out.
Here we have
Wasp
the mobilized
swarm.
battleship. It did change ever so slightly. It's
Oh,
50 more expensive,
that is interesting.
but it does summon a bigger and meaner overlord.
Yeah, slightly more player damage as well, right?
Yeah. Okay, second tech there for Meesim. Opts to go for the EMP instead.
Yeah, pretty interesting. The Wasp Swarm will be some good chaff. Maybe that's exactly what he needs, because he is losing the arms race here. There's the EMP. I don't... I guess it's just something you eventually get in the Raiden mirror, right? I think EMP is the
Yeah,
best counter against Raiden, because
yeah,
Raiden's
EMP is
untacked
really strong.
are just not very good, right?
Yeah, it really does rely a lot on its range and like its ability to chain attacks. So EMP is really powerful. And the thing is, again, like it has a pretty powerful EMP attack itself. So that's the funny bit.
Yes. Yeah, really interesting. The Shield Fangs here could be a big, big difference here. There's no
Yeah, the oil
fire,
was already
right?
used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Fang Fang is also set up to do a pretty good Shield Fang at some point. Might be another part of the equation if there's no Mustangs or fire on the board.
A bit surprised with the smoke on the right side. I'm not sure how much that does.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. I mean, your arc lights are the only things really affected.
If
I guess,
anything, it just makes sure that everything gets sent in front of those Raidens, which is what Meeson
yeah,
wants anyway.
for sure. There's just so many more Raidens here for red hair.
Yeah, Red Hair Raid does seem to be ahead. The tower level 5, so the chunky boy only gives 1 second of debuff. Will end up falling at last, but
That is the signature Beeson move. Level 5 tower.
yeah. I mean, he got there, but it does not pay off in the end, and Red Hair will finish him off.
Well, Raiden mirrors. It's nice to see that. Totally not going to be toxic. Don't worry, guys. No, I
Hey, at
think we'll see
least it
some good
looks
answers.
cool. At least it looks cool.
We might have to put EMP on our marksman bars. I mean, a lot of people already do that, but it might be a necessity.
Yeah, I wonder though, don't you just I feel like if you AA marksman, like, do you really need EMP as well?
You might. I mean, it depends how
I feel like
fast the
if you
battle.
yeah, like it's basically the same hit points as Overlord has been so far. So I feel like if you
Yes.
manage to lock on, you just probably just want to kill it. So
Yeah, that's true.
like
It might come
AA
down
allows you
to,
to lock on easier and gives you
yeah,
damage.
for sure. Like I would be thinking about getting both most likely. But you're right, you may not need it in most cases. It may come down to like levels and like, let's say like a heavy armor or portable shield lands, like kind of get a raid boss, right? Then you might need EMP or melter
Yeah.
or something. All right, so we're moving on to our last best of one for the day. Not our last game though. So we have
No.
Sama, who's been around for quite a while, definitely a familiar name. I do not have notes on this player, but I do have notes for B something something. So the notes I have for him is Drill Master, which I assume means drill technology on the crawlers. He has a good following on Bilibili, almost 3,000 followers, and he's organized a 60-week Mecha Bellum activity. I don't know if that just means he plays a lot. Um, but yeah, definitely interesting to see him. I have seen his name before, but not super familiar with his play styles or anything like that. So Sama, that's a player who's been around for a long time. I have not caught a lot of their games recently. I want to say they were a standard player back in the day.
I actually think they play aggro somewhat. I think it's one of the players that does both. I
Hmm.
remember that on the live server he has a picture of a whirlwind rhino, so I feel like you can't run that picture and then not play aggro. Like that's
Yeah.
just BM.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that's not allowed. I'm sorry. Like you can have the Vulcan picture if you want, but you can't take whirlwind rhino and then never play aggro.
True. That should be a crime. So I'm interested to see more Raiden gameplay. I believe it's a really unsolved unit at the moment, and I think the devs did a good job of making so many different tech tree combinations for them. Now, EMP existing all on its own kind of negates every tech tree, but I don't know if it's like you have to be careful to commit the techs on them.
Yeah.
But in theory, I mean, maybe like Photon will become an integral part. Oh, I see the avatar. Okay, I am familiar with this player. The farmer avatar there, or whatever it may be. He's been around
Yeah, the
for
rice hat guy.
forever. I think even like pre-Steam release, like when it was on the test server.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely a pretty strong player.
And it's
Bit
kind
of
of
a
cool to see these
standard.
guys.
Cancel me. Why am I canceled for saying he's a farmer?
Not allowed. Out of line.
How dare I?
In the corner you go.
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a standard player. He's pretty off and on as a player. Like sometimes he takes long breaks because I've not seen him play for quite a while.
Yeah, neither have high, so it'll be interesting to see what he's got cooking. I'm still hoping for that intensive or the training spec. It's possible. We've got the best of
For
three
sure.
afterwards as well.
For sure. I've heard Sako say he thinks it could be good with arc lights, which makes sense, right? Like guaranteeing a
Yeah.
high level arc light with elite marksman. It's pretty powerful.
Also, like 100 cost unit is the only thing you'll be able to level on round one. Because you start, of course, with the intensive available, but you only get 50 additional credits, and that's it. It's not like supply spec; you just get 50 at the start. That's all. So you can't level like something like a Mustang. Like that's not going to work. Or you have to skip a deployment, but that's a bit risky.
Yeah, you could like sell a Mustang, level the other one. That seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
Training
Training
specialist,
spec
let's go.
available. It's not a bad pack. Surely it's not that bad of a pack.
Surely it's not. Oh my gosh, guys, come on.
Well, now you know how I feel about AM spec during MAG1 League. I'm so hopeful. But we get Saber, and it does look cool.
It does look cool. Definitely,
Marksman Mustang.
yeah. I have to imagine this is actually a pretty good setup here for Sama. Like the sabers don't do anything, right? They just shoot mustangs and crawlers.
Well, yeah,
But Arclight's
the
OP.
Arclights though.
Yeah, I love how we're scared of like literally his only two deploys, but they're just that good.
But I mean, the thing is, Saber's is kind of the same as a Spider on round one. Like it's about as tanky. Of course,
Yeah,
it's more of a single target EPS unit, so it's probably not as good, but it's still a tough cookie to take down.
yeah, for
Power
sure.
Debuff will certainly help though.
Yep, that looks pretty strong here. Definitely important to get some Mustang experience going early. That's really the main way you get a strong start with this starting unit. 3 marksman is a lot of marksmans left. I think there's a good potential here to get the round. Oh, maybe not. Struggling to clear the chaff here. We are locked on. A small loss here.
Marksman available.
Really fast skip for Sama, but there are some stuff here, like there's a heavy armor and there's improved Phoenix, but nope, nobody wants it.
Yeah, but Improved Phoenix isn't new, so we don't want to see it. Not
Yeah, we want to
allowed.
see Raidens, come on.
We want to see Raidens. We want to see Sabretooth with secondary armaments being clicked.
Dude, I want to see that so bad, come on. They should have made it cheaper.
Just make it 100 cost on the test server just because you can.
Yeah, for real. Well, flank looks successful. May take a while, though. We have a flank on the other side as well, which is not planning to get the tower, but just draw some stuff away, I suppose. Flanks everywhere, in fact.
Yeah.
Oh, takes it off.
Duon kind of showing how it's done.
Ooh.
So much aggro being played, but it might again also have to do with the fact that Raiden is not that well suited to standard.
Yeah, not quite long enough range. Pretty much it is that simple for the most part, is like you either want something tanky like a worm, or you want something long range to be in
Yep.
standard.
Yeah, and it can only get up to 150 if you don't take any of the range reduction techs, which is on the lower end of anything you might encounter in standard.
Yeah. Well, the Mustangs have been taken care of, so not quite being allowed to scale up. The arc lights are getting some experience. We already have a blue arc light on the field. And we do have a Typhoon coming down here for Sama. Might be the tempo he needs, and we have a chance for a free unit drop here as well.
Don't
Not
quite get it.
quite. There's Raiden. Efficient giant manufacturing.
I wonder, is he going to be playing Raiden Typhoon, maybe?
I think that comp is going to be so good.
Yeah.
Can they already buy it, though?
I
I don't think
mean,
Sama can yet. So just more
no, that
Typhoons
won't
for
work.
now.
Yeah, he's setting it up.
Arc lights as well. Yeah, they're just setting it up. But they both took the giant thing, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they did. We're also
Alright.
waiting for the free unit still next turn, so maybe we'll get to see a round full Raiden drop or what it might look like.
True. That'd be amazing. We got good sell tempo here for Sama. He's already got the sell button, so he's ready to inject all his money into it.
Although I'm not sure if we can get it, because I believe the only unit you can get on round, or the only giant you can get on round 4 is like Melter, like level 2 Melter.
Oh,
All
really?
of the other
There's like
ones
a
only
rule?
show up on, yeah, all the other
Oh,
ones only show up on round 5.
no, that's interesting. They're just
You can
deemed
get
too strong.
the level 1s on round 3, but
It's kind of weird. Why do you allow a melter of all giants?
yeah, I'm not sure.
Hmm, interesting.
Some of them are just deemed higher value. Like there's also differences
Yeah.
between the costs, even if they're same level.
Well, Typhoon tempo very, very strong. Not surprising there. It's a bit of a comeback here, but it's all going to come down to these unit drops.
Yeah, this is gonna be a crucial round, you have to imagine.
And they're primed. They've got the efficient giants. They are going to be buying giant.
Yeah, they know what they want. And yeah,
Yeah,
there you have the Melter. It doesn't.
as you said.
I think the Melter will just remain the only unit or the only giant you can get on this turn.
Yep. Keep your eye out for
So I need
cells
Steel
here.
Balls, Steel Balls and Stormcrawlers.
Sama sold something really quickly here. It was a storm,
Yeah,
right?
one of the storms.
Yep.
Steel Ball gets sold as well. Well, they've got enough damage to at least get one on the board. B could even buy 2 if he wants to.
Yeah, it's a little scary into Mustangs marksmans, but we've seen it work before despite there being good anti-air.
Well, there they are.
Do you like it on the left? I almost feel more secure putting it on the right.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the game we just saw, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's the exact same side that's being leveled.
Yeah, I
Although they are
typically
both getting into the unit at the same time now.
yeah. Arclight range makes sense. I'm just like a little scared putting it near the marksmans in general. My philosophy with air units is like
Yeah,
keep them away from the anti-air.
true, true. So are you saying you think, I mean, Sama probably is ahead here, right?
I like his board a lot. I mean, Typhoon SBC is really strong. The Typhoons look good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic pairing down the line if he gets to click a couple techs, grab those barriers on the Typhoons. And I guess he has the marksman for now to pull him through the mid game.
For sure. Really nice zap there on the 2 Typhoons.
Oh, marksman there, finding its mark.
Yeah. Pretty good round here for red, actually. The Storms are still alive as well. So the tempo
Ooh,
continues.
a lot of experience going the way of Sama's Raiden there, managing to kill that level 3 marksman.
Will we see 3 Giants per turn?
We could. Steel ball production line available. Sama doesn't want it though.
Yeah,
Again,
it's
I don't think
tempting.
absorption is what you want.
No, I think it is fine on Raidens, depending on your tech tree, but I feel like you want like a higher level Raiden before grabbing it.
Yeah. And again, I can see an argument here for, especially if they are in the mirror, they want to get those techs ahead of their opponent. They want to get the levels, they want to get the numbers. So making sure they have all the cash available to do that makes a lot of sense.
For sure.
We do get the steel ball production though, picked up here for B.
Kind of good pressure against the level 2 tower, so I like that. I mean, it's a fast unit as well, so the Storms may miss it. He is selling out of the Storms. I think that's a good call. I think it all comes down to the headbutt and the pressure on the left tower here.
Yep. B opting to keep those steel balls on the left from the looks of it. Sold something different. I think he sold a saber.
Definitely want to get out of the balls, though. Medium-sized units are just really bad against Raidens.
Yeah, they're not having a good time. Both of them already with range. Both of them with 2 Raidens. Sama's Raiden on the left does end up getting enough experience, so we'll be able to level up next turn. But right tower will fall, and I think the timing is pretty good there.
Yeah, not too bad, honestly. The Raiden is being kept alive as a result of it.
Ooh,
But it didn't matter too much, actually.
marksman there, I think. Taking out these Raiden, and yeah, these are not good engagements at all.
Yeah, coming down to a little bit of timing. And definitely Sama had more stuff left at the end, though, so a deserved win there.
Yeah, this is not looking too great if you're B, because Sama there double levels now on those Raidens.
It's a lot of giants. But he goes for Scorpion, the only non-giant here. That's
Well,
for the
it's worth
skill,
the
though.
most, so let's get that
Yeah,
quick cash. Whoa, big round there. Barriers on the Typhoons, range on the Mustang.
yeah. And looks like we're keeping the Falcons here for blue. Guess that makes sense to a degree, but might put him further behind on the arms race for more Raidens.
Yeah, he's just trying to get back into the game using that oil, trying to light it on fire. Does sell out of the steel balls, getting some cash back. Is getting ahead
Yeah.
in terms of deployments now. Does at least have 1 leveled Raiden. Sama now has 2.
I'm curious to see if they'll commit to another Raiden tech and who will do it first. I don't think it's bad to just spam more and more of them, especially with the manufacturing that they have, but at some point you gotta click your next tech, and it could just be EMP.
I didn't look at the setups. Yeah, so B not running the ionization, which Sama does have. Instead
Yeah.
does have that but EMP available. So no EMP available for Sama.
Yeah, interesting. So that means that blue could just go, get a lot of techs here with no punish.
Yeah, tech-wise, he should be ahead in this mirror, but the question is, will he get there?
There is EMP on the marksman, I suppose.
True. But I think, again, with those levels, you'd rather click AA if you want to tech them.
Yeah. Similar
Sama
size victory
ahead.
here.
Yeah, and again, that Raiden leveling.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. No super heavies desired here. We both want the fire. Could have had a super heavy on a level 3 Raiden. Would have been pretty spicy.
True.
Maybe just afraid of ionization.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just what likes the value you can get out of the fire. I guess
Or
ideally you probably don't want to have your Raiden's tank in the first place. So
yeah, maybe that's just it. There actually is no ionization for blue here, so there
true.
would not really be a punish. So I think it was an interesting play, but I do like your read that like the fire is good and you just don't want it to tank.
Yeah,
Well, there
B
won't be
here
much
still in the
chaff here.
process of selling.
Yep. Gotta commit to the arms race. The shielded fangs may be quite good here, but there's a lot of fire on the ground. He has late ones though.
It's quite an interesting decision making to tech hits because he knows, of course, that the incendiary is available. So bold move to go for the fangs with shield on this turn.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like the right move long term, but it's like you want to not do it for just one turn while there's fire. These typhoons are really fast. They're getting in. Such a collapse. Even through the fire.
Yeah, and Sama looks to just be focusing on the ground a bit more here. Hasn't bought more Raidens for the last couple turns. Instead, just focusing on those Typhoons and the chaff.
Well, a lot of shield fangs left, and basically no answer to them. Things are looking a little bit better here.
Yeah, seems like that really did pay off. And now B gets to reap the rewards of having more Raidens on the board.
Yeah, definitely potential for a comeback here. There's Wasp as well, which is just a lot of chaff. Like I think chaff is just really good. Like chaff and EMP are the answers to Raidens, I think. Wasp being in the air is quite unique. They can't be burned. There are no Mustangs on the battlefield. There are Typhoons though, so maybe Wasp's a little bit better here for Sama.
Picks them up. Instantly goes for that shield. And B opting to go for something different. Picks up the Fortress, sells out of one of the Vulcans.
Yeah, this is getting weird. Like loose crawler
A
just got
bit.
clicked. There's a lot of fangs
Yeah.
to kill them.
I mean, loose does make sense into the ranged arc lights, I guess. But with the
Yeah,
incendiary now being purchased on the Vulcan,
yeah. This is getting pretty crazy. And
oh, okay.
level 5 tower.
Hello there.
I
Seen
kind of
that
like
before
that.
today.
Like there's been no pressure on the other tower, right? So
Yeah, I
all
kind
eggs
of
in one
wonder.
basket.
I don't think you need level 5 most of the time. Like
Yeah.
the 5th level is quite expensive. I don't know if it would have like bought him anything else, but maybe it could have bought him a tech. I don't hate the idea of fork, but maybe he doesn't want it because of the loss of range.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you don't need the level, but it's just like such a good tank, right? Like maybe everything gets stuck on it and just takes way too
Yeah,
long
it
to finish it
definitely
off.
is good, like just for the tankiness alone.
I guess ionization could be good against level 5 tower.
Does it even work against the tower?
I think so. Like towers are just units, right? I mean, they're not units in the sense of like acid and fire, but
Yeah,
in
they
most
can't
other
be ignited
contexts,
either.
Okay, touche. Yeah, I guess they're a little unique.
It's actually a good question. I haven't tested that.
Yeah, just says target's current HP. Doesn't say unit, so.
True. Yeah. But that can be misleading because we might look at Ignite and it might say the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, it says the target unit actually. So maybe you're onto something.
There you go.
It just says ignited units. So following that logic, I think it might be able to chunk down big
Oh, the drill
level towers.
master.
Ooh, that's where it
Yeah,
comes from.
that's where it comes from. I mean, they're just going to completely own these loose crawlers, and we do have the underground threat spell available here. And he is piling it on, all in that top left corner. He already has a blue crawler there. The fortress feels pretty random to me. He still has the sell button. Maybe it's
Yeah, it's just
gonna get
chilling.
kicked out. Oh, another crawler tech.
Mech Rage.
It could be a gut shot opportunity here. I mean, there's a lot of it's
Yeah,
round 9, you know,
Mech Rage is spicy.
for sure. Oh, the fort does get a tech. Everybody gets some love.
Fourth
We've teched like
AA.
5 different units.
I mean, the first tech
Or
is the
6.
cheapest, so
Yeah, it is true. Pretty sweet variety here. Anti or AMDs on Mustangs. What is that for? For the
the
incendiary of the Vulcan?
incendiary, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it makes
Inadvertently, I
sense.
guess it might intercept some Fortress AA.
Yeah, true. If it works, I like it because keeping your crawlers alive is really important here.
Oh, but look at those crawlers. That was so fast. And they're making beeline for tower. That will fall instantly. That is unleveled. 9 seconds of debuff.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
It is very comical seeing how fast they are. Like, oh my days.
Yeah, for sure. Getting
Well, they
tower
will
was
end up going down
huge.
eventually, but
Got a lot of shield fangs left, huh?
yeah, this does not look salvageable for Sama. With the amount of giants left alive, you have to imagine that's simply going to be game.
Yeah. All right. Our player B here taking down Sama. That was for me. That was one of the better games. That was quite good. And with that wraps up our about best of ones. We've had 4 games, and I'd like you guys to type in chat what was your favorite game. We will tally up all the votes, and the winner will get into a best of 3 worth $300. Let's see if I can say the games here. So the first game was a Poochie versus what is that name again? I forget. The second game was a Poochie versus Blue Hair. Third game was Fang Fang versus Me Sim, and then you just saw the final game there, the B player against Sama. We had 2 Raiden mirrors in a row for the last 2 games. We had the improved Overlord game and the first Apuchi game. I cannot remember what they did.
It was a it was a Raiden game by Pucci, I believe.
Yeah. So please say your votes. Players will be ready to jump into this best of 3. I believe we are also tallying on Bilibili, which is the Chinese streaming platform. MAG1 is an international group here, so we do have Chinese representatives as well.
Looking at the chat there, I'm not tallying up, but there's a whole bunch of twos.
Is quite a number of twos here.
That would be the improved Overlord game. Seems to have won the hearts over of the public.
Yeah, for real. All right. I mean, they were quad teched, right? Yeah, looks like we
True,
can call
yeah.
2 as the winner here. So production will be facilitating this matchmaking here.
Yeah, that game also just, I guess, stood out because all the other games were Raiden, but then that game was just big boats, the
Yeah,
biggest of boats, even.
it's funny how that works out. I'm a little bit sad we didn't see training specialists, like not even a single time, and I believe it was
Yeah,
offered.
true. We're just gonna call out the players. Like,
We gotta call them
if
out, man. You know.
Apucci, if you happen to be in that best of three, we need to see the training specialist. You've already done us a favor, though. You have given us really interesting games. We've seen the Raidens, we've seen the improved Overlords, but we want to see the training specialist
We really
if it
do.
shows up.
If it shows up.
If it
I
shows
mean,
up.
it looks good. Like it actually looks good. You know, it's 1/4 of a quick supply, which is not terrible on its own right. And then the spell is worth a lot. Like if you're ever clicking the manual like buy level 2 unit things on the tower, pays for itself pretty quickly, and the amount of tactics available to you is quite huge.
Yeah, it's kind of part of those new specialists that have been added that are like, depending on the situation, can get really high value. Like Amp Specialist, for instance, really good with Spider Opener. Missile
Yep,
Spec, really good against things like Stormcallers, but not as good into Spiders. And then I think with this one, if you happen to hit like Enhancement Module, uh, I think the power of that Specialist just skyrockets, right?
100%. I mean, that can just be game winning. All right, we're jumping into it. So it's going to be Apucci against Red Hair. Definitely some crowd favorites here, and I would say
Ooh.
pretty equally matched players here. And I believe they have both been practicing on the test server, so that they know what they're doing to some degree.
I mean, we know at least that they know what they're doing because I think they both. Apucci won both of his games, and so did Red Hair.
Yep, got some nice stats on the screen here. We can see Arbiter, who's got a crazy win rate there, but let's focus on our final players here. Apucci with a 2/3 win rate, quite
That's
strong there, over
impressive.
2,400. Fang Fang though, max MMR 2,500. Holy smokes, this guy is a monster.
Yeah, that is quite daunting.
For real though. And not many people have 2,500, and this guy, it doesn't seem too hard for him. He makes it look easy.
Yeah, I think it was in the MAG1 league. We were looking at his stats, and he has like super consistent statistics. Like it doesn't matter whether he's playing 201 or 501. Like he just boasts a super consistent like 65% win rate against both.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at the regional win rates, we can see how good players are against each region here.
Oh yeah, there you have it.
That is some great stats right there. Looks like Red Hair is just good against Fang Fang or Red Hair, same player. Looks like he's good against the whole board. Doesn't matter if you're from 201 or 501. Poochie a little bit more mixed, and we are jumping into the game.
Training specialist available.
Training, training.
They didn't pick it.
Ah, are these players allowed back? I think we may have to
Ugh.
reconsider them.
You might just have to get into contact with the Asian side of the broadcast there. This is unacceptable, okay?
uh, well, we got Speed SBC, we got the new Saber packs at least. This is a best of three. There is $300 on the line for winning this best of three. I imagine there is some pressure. I mean, of course, we want to see some new stuff, but at the same time, I understand there are some stakes on the line here.
I mean, matchup wise, this looks rough if you're a Poochie, though. Sledgehammer into Sabretooth, no thank you. And then you've got Crawler Start into Arclights on top of things.
Yeah, this could be a tough road to come back from. He has no
I
economy to help him out.
Have they shaken hands, by the way? Like, what is going on? Like, how are we crossfiring every single game and blue side goes right? Well, they're
Yeah,
both going right side for their perspective, but hello?
yeah, they're paid actors for sure, but they should have
Yeah,
been
no,
paid
like
to pick
actually.
training SBC. Like, what? Come on.
But at least if we pay them, why can't they just get training spec then as well? Like,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Does not make any sense.
Truly.
Well,
Well,
we
I
get
think,
double Fang. Makes sense.
yeah. Get a screening Fang up front. Not sure where this other one's going. I'm curious to see what the cards do because I think Apuchi's gonna need some help. Maybe he can get into Phoenixes to get a win on round 2. We'll have to
Yeah, he
see.
needs some divine intervention. And by that I mean some bear-like intervention.
Maybe some Raiden intervention.
Hey, divine god of thunder, you know.
There you go. Well, speed SBC is getting value here. I mean, we are collapsing on this tower very, very quick. Sledgehammer DPS looking okay.
The
Tower
speed
will
actually
fall.
does help tremendously.
Yeah, it's huge, right? Sledges love it, and Apuchi loves his sledges, so we'll
Because
see what
usually
he
the problem with
does.
aggro sledge is that they just don't have the speed to threaten a tower, but with
Yeah,
2 additional
100%.
movement speed. I mean, look, he still gets absolutely farmed at the end of the round, but
Yeah, but it looked like okay, right? Like there is
hey,
potential for speed SBC.
he got tower first, you know? Like it's worth
Yeah,
something.
for
Probably.
sure.
Somewhere.
Is Master? Oh my god, kind of spicy cards, honestly.
Other Overlord, yeah, we did talk about this.
I was just gonna call it.
Is
The moment he picked that, he's like, he's buying Wasp. We saw it before with the same player. Feng Feng likes to do this. Flower Fairy as well.
Pucci debating, perhaps thinking, well,
Hmm.
played improved Overlord already. I could try and complete the trifecta here. Goes for redeployment instead, never mind.
Looks like he's gonna get rid of that Fang on the left tower and rather fortify it. Maybe oil at some point.
Yeah, we really saw his willingness in the game to just abandon tower and keep playing on his own side, so wouldn't be too surprised if we see that yet again.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a really
With that
strong
in mind,
tactic.
ooh, double crawler. Like if a Fang gets put, it won't happen.
Hmm.
The Fang would have been put there in the back right corner. Those Wasps still had to spawn in, so I think they would have gone down, but
Yeah.
not going to happen. Fangs instead are all the way in the shallow flank.
I think short term, the Wasps probably get the win here, but long term, I really like what Apuchi's doing because he's sort of he's making these saber teeth isolated, right? They're a slow moving unit. Same with the Arclights. And if they're just in the middle of nowhere, then that's a lot of his investment. That's just not engaging in the battle.
Yeah, and he's got a big chaff advantage as well, right? Like if you look at this board, he's got, I think, over double the amount that Red Hair has.
Yeah, for sure. So he's really set up here. I mean, he could go Raidens as well. He
Yeah,
does
you
need
just
some
wait it
in
out
here.
now.
Yeah.
Round 3, round 4, see what the packs offer and play off of that.
Yep.
It doesn't even look that bad. Fangs are there turning.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Might
got
be able
some
to get rid of
left.
these Wasps. I mean, the Sabres will clean house again,
Does the
but
Wasp level? It does not level, so a little bit different than some of our earlier games.
that is a big relief, because if there's no free units, then yeah, they don't show up. It means Pucci might be able to get away with just buying a couple more Fangs.
Yeah, definitely an option here. Doesn't want. He could pick the second improved firepower. Just be completely rich on these equipments.
It gets the
Mobile.
Farseer too. It's a really good item for Farseer.
Yeah, that's true.
Mustangs instead. Wow, instant Raiden from Mapuche. Keep in mind he's not a giant spec or an air spec. Like he just had to unlock that
Yep.
on round 3.
Could pay off though. It's a
Expensive
really
stuff.
strong unit.
Yep. And I'm wondering, is Red Hair calling a bluff?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing here. He's just gonna leave the Wasp, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
I mean, it'll farm, right? It'll actually clear like a significant amount of chaff.
Yeah, okay. Adds the Fang in the back there.
That should win.
Yeah, it's got the yeah. So he did actually call the bluff, but no
Yep.
beacon. I'm not. I don't even think it would have gone for tower because of that. But
He was just not bluffing.
well,
Alright,
let's
let's
see
see how
how
the
the
Raiden
Raiden does.
does. Yeah, same thoughts here.
But here you might have problems because the Farseer is the one thing that might be able to actually hit the Raiden, but it doesn't have that improved firepower control system.
Yeah, I've tried this matchup, and like, your Farseers eventually just get one shot. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Speaking of,
Yeah. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, he can still sell the Farce here and just be like, I'm gonna do something else to counter
And it is awfully nice of Red Hair to have leveled his sabers, because that means that Raiden is pushed over the edge
it.
after only one round. And so, yeah,
You'll
level
love to see
available
it.
here. Round 4, we get free units. It's guaranteed.
Hmm. Maybe
Some quick
Badgers get
picks.
picked up, but the Scorpions kill the Badgers, so maybe you don't want the Badgers then. Maybe just Phoenix as your anti-air, but he goes for Scorpions
Yeah,
instead, so he has a different anti-air plan, I suppose.
I mean, Apuchi will at least need some sort of chaff clear, so...
Yeah, probably Badgers for him. Yes, indeed. Wow. That is really interesting that he's now back on the left with them. It's kind of genius, right? Because he may think like the Scorpions are coming out, and if so, they're going to be on the right side.
Yeah,
Redeploys. Oh my god, this is such great play.
yeah, this is really high-level gameplay from Apuchi.
Super sick.
He's reading correctly that his opponent would sell out of left side. And
Yeah,
yeah, now again refocusing his attention over there.
yeah. Dude, I'm getting chills. This is sick.
You have a Raiden on the board as well there for Red Hair. He did purchase one.
Love to see him sell out of the sledges as well, I think. Like they are capable of killing Chaff and Mustangs, but I just don't think they're long-term part of the board. He keeps them though, doesn't want the sell button just yet. The asymmetric battle here. Raiden's, of course, completely unmatched so far. A lot of Badgers left. Scorpion's not getting any connections.
Yeah, the awkward bit here though for Red Hair, I think, is that his board is so much less efficient. He's trying to dip in multiple comps. Like, I could see Scorpion Mustang working, but then he's also buying Raiden. Whereas
Yeah,
Apuchi's just saying, yeah, I'm playing Badger Raiden, that's it. Like, I'm not pretending I'm playing anything else. That's the comp.
yeah, for sure. We did talk about that too, that in the mirror, the Badgers could be a liability since they're so easily killed by the Raidens. We'll have to see. Laser's very strong here, especially for the blue one in the middle, basically giving him access to the entire battlefield with his lightning bolts.
Yeah, and I would expect range to come out this turn, maybe.
Yeah, feels like the turn, right? Because you know that it's a Raiden mirror.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how Red Hair navigates this, because mirror-wise, he is simply going to be behind because of all of the other stuff that he's been investing into. Oil picked up.
Yeah. I guess there is a lot of crawlers over there. Or wait, this is bought by a Poochie.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it will actually light the Mustangs on fire, if that's his goal.
He might be very greedy and just try and use it for the slow, or at least this turn, and then try and set it on fire next turn. Although it's very far forward, so it
Yeah,
might just be purely for the slow.
yeah, kind of weird to me because he's speed SPC, but yeah, we'll see. So this is a
Red
crazy
Hair,
defense now. Look at that.
he's not abandoning tower. He is matching.
Yeah.
But yeah, those wasps are not gonna have a good time. That's just normal Raiden. That's not fork, that's not chain, but yeah, they're gone pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it could be good long term. Like he clicks shield on Wasp and buys more, and then maybe he wins the headbutt. But for now, not super great.
Okay, Raiden is getting some stuff done. At least one of them gets taken down by Red Hair. How does he do on the other side, though? That big level 2 Raiden from Apuchi starting to
Stuck
make its
on
way
Chav.
over.
Not much oil value here. Will he light it on fire?
One Badger left. Oh, he does.
Unfortunate.
Don't think he'll be very happy with that, but he does pick up the round.
Yeah, a win's a win, I suppose.
And double rating levels.
A lot of tanks here. Maybe Typhoons with barrier could be good.
Yeah,
They're
I
pretty
think
good
Apucci
headbutt
heard you.
units. Oh, the Rhino. Do we have ionization here for Apucci?
We
No.
don't, but I'm not like, do you want to click it just because of a Rhino?
Touche. I mean, it could be good at killing the Raidens, but yeah, maybe I guess not even.
It is, the Rhino will be a pain for sure. Like,
Yeah, what else do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he just sees what his opponent does. He can kind of afford to, so
Yeah, for sure you
and
wait a
then
turn. And I guess
we'll
it's like,
worry about the Rhino afterwards.
yeah, like balls or melter, maybe.
I mean, they're high level Raidens. Maybe they can get there.
Yeah, you just buy more and more and more.
HE Mustang, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
It's a little unconventional.
Just wants to kill the crawlers.
But I guess he has the Rhino as a front line, so this might work.
I'm starting to feel like the right tower for Pucci is a little exposed.
It is, yeah. If the oil stayed for another turn, he would have been just fine, but
Yeah.
I guess there is a lot of crawlers though, so you probably can stall for long enough. Wow, look at that level 3 Raiden. That was insane. It
Yeah.
was shooting like 90 degrees sideways.
The thing's a bit of a beast.
Yeah, the Rhino is not even an issue, it seems. It is tanky, but it will go down. Man, I just want to see fork plus chain.
Yeah, it's the dream, right?
Oh, that is so disgusting.
That is pretty nasty. And HP here?
I mean, never mind.
Oh
That's just
my gosh.
game over.
Dang, pretty I really liked the play from Mapuche there. That was
You
really awesome.
know, note to self, don't encounter Pucci on 2nd of January. I think he's figured it out. I think he's got it down to a T. You know,
Definitely
that
pretty good
looks
advantage,
really
yep.
solid. Yeah, he's played that as good as he could have. That redeploy play that you highlighted, absolutely beautiful.
Yep. Reading the cells can sometimes be a really strong move. That's basically what he did, right?
Yeah, and he's been navigating the mirror just so well. His opponent tried to get into Raiden as well, but just to no avail.
Yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a pattern today. Like there's an arms race and whoever's got the higher investment earlier on snowballs a little bit. I mean, there has been some nice tactics and comebacks. For example, like the shield fangs were a huge winning move there for B earlier.
Yep. It'd be interesting if we see someone willing to kind of defend. Of course, I know that they want to showcase the new units, but it could be interesting to see as well how someone would play into Raiden without trying to play Raiden themselves.
Mm,
But I'm not sure we'll
yeah,
get to see that.
yeah, it'd be nice to see the unit drop because it does exist, guys. You
I
can get
swear it exists.
it. Yeah, I guess I'm glad you can't see it round 4. I actually didn't know about this until you told me today. It's quite interesting. Only Melter can appear as a giant on round 4.
Yeah, I imagine
Probably
it can
healthy.
show up on round 3. You can get
Yeah.
every single level 1 giant on round 3.
Oh, really? So just round 4 you can't get
Yeah, round 4 is just awkward because, like, the game doesn't want to give you a level 1 giant, and it doesn't want to give you anything but level 2 melter.
got it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Feels really bad for giant SPC that you can just get a giant unlock for free on round 3. Feel like they could push it to like round 5 or 4. But yeah, I'm also just biased because I just don't like giants. They're a little too snowbally and historically have been fairly problematic. But the game is in a better place than it used to be. Like I think the change from 400 to 350 was great. Just the player damage just gets completely out of control.
Yeah. I think it's 350 now.
Yeah, I really like that. Like they've done some good changes in that regard, like the summonings dealing quarter damage, stuff like that. All right, we gotta see training specialist. It's like it's a sin at this point. I think we've
It
seen it
is.
like probably 5 times,
I think every
4
single game
times.
it showed up.
Yeah, maybe like
Maybe
once
one
it
game it
didn't.
hasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you can't skip it every sit. Like that's just no way. There's just no way.
The disrespect. The devs put so much love into this character. I mean, have you seen the beautiful artwork?
Yeah. The K Kona specialist.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's gonna catch on.
Yeah. I had some chatters calling the Raiden Sparky as well, which I kind of like. Oh,
Yeah.
you're kidding. It doesn't show up. Of course it doesn't.
Aw,
Well, there's aerial spec for the Raiden enthusiasts.
true.
No
Looks like
such thing.
Rhino's too tempting though. Maybe Saber's picked up here for red hair?
Yeah, with the marksman, it could be nice if he's expecting Raiden.
Maybe running back the speed pack because he just saw how good it was for Apuchi?
Just out of spite.
That's a good pack as well, I suppose. Lots of
A bit
money
of a
and really
sledge
beefy
mirror.
units. Yeah,
Yeah, good slab of hit points too.
yeah, for sure.
And they should be winning in the mirror. Arclight's
Yeah,
very powerful early on.
yeah, especially if you buy no chaff, you just buy like 2 more arc lights.
5 Arclights on turn 1. That sounds...
It's the world we live in, okay? Arc lights are busted. You can get crawlers as a free drop on round 2, you know?
True. Uh, just handshake to never unlock, to never buy crawler. So that you just leave it until like the third unit drop and then you get like an insane level 6, like quad level 6 crawler drop.
Interesting positions here. It's like sort of a headbutt, sort of not a
How
headbutt.
have we... look, I know that we talked about the setup was the same every single time playing on the right side, but it doesn't mean everybody plays on the left side now. It's just they just
Yeah,
want to avoid each other at all costs.
yeah, this feels a little choreographed, but you know, I'm all for
But
it.
third time's the charm. So maybe red hair can equalize things here and then send it into a headbutt in the third game. We'll have to see.
Yep. I mean, there was a lot of posturing last games. Like, started off with asymmetrical, and then they're like, actually, I'm gonna headbutt you like directly on.
Yeah, Arclights will come out on top.
Yeah, as expected, quick supply, a little bit too much to handle.
Didn't use any of his resources just yet though. And there they are, the crawlers.
I called it.
Is that a... Oh my, okay. Well,
Huh.
that's about as early as you can get them.
Yep. Could have, should have
That's
been giant
just
SBC.
yeah, this is just straight up. Look, I got beaten. You got the Raidens earlier last game. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore. Screw that deployment. I will just get one, and the Raiden shows up on Fang Fang's board.
Yep. I mean, it's good against the sledgehammers, I guess. Can pick off the arc lights. It's a clean one shot on everything against the board, so possibly incentivized to get more bounces.
Yeah, this is gonna be brutal.
More sledges too.
More...
Oh
oh.
no,
Okay,
that's
all the way in the
oh
back.
okay, okay.
Maybe it's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's okay. And the arc light in the very very back to kill the blue crawler also looks really good for Apuchi here.
He won't be able to kill the Raiden, but you know that's a different problem.
Yep. Yeah, I mean we still see what he's gonna choose. Could be finally time for anti-air marksman.
Unless Fangs and a Dream
I highly doubt it, but maybe.
debuff. I'm really trying to find the silver lining.
I mean, you're not super far off, but the problem is we lose the tower, right?
Yeah.
I think the Fangs had it if those other units didn't exist, probably.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty decent job here still, but it's not quite going to be enough. Those 15k hit points, slightly too much.
Yep. Giants
Does it
being
level?
giants.
Okay, it doesn't. Now, what is Apucci going to be playing here? Does he try and mirror? Does he try something different?
Oh, subsidized Mustangs could just be the answer. There's mass-produced forts, but I don't think anti-air is really what you want. It's a little too risky with such a high health pool.
Yeah, and again, like you could like chain EMP right through the fortresses.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Amp Core, however, being picked up for red hair here. Is it going on the Raiden?
You
You
have
have
to
to
imagine it
imagine.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phoenix. Hmm. I don't know how I feel about Phoenixes. Let's check out his techs here. He has range, but no EMP. The problem is that the range difference between Phoenixes and Raidens is only by 10. And Raiden's just easily one-shot Phoenixes. So I don't think it's a great matchup without EMP.
I guess the benefit though is that you can't get those arcs happening from ground to air. So as long as you can manage to keep the Raiden shooting at like your fangs, your sledges, then the Phoenixes should be safe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just have a really strong ground army. He can definitely afford to do so since all of his money is not going into Raidens, like it is for Fang Fang.
Either way, it looks like we might get what I wanted to see, which is someone trying to just beat Raiden without building it themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And that kind of
Like,
tends to show you like how powerful a unit really is, right?
yeah, exactly. Like if there's just a clean answer, then we need more innovations or a balance patch or something.
Phoenixes are getting some lock-ons, and those crawlers are getting to tower, so yeah, Phoenixes here should have a good time.
Yeah,
Shaft
and
here just lackluster from Red Hair so far.
kind of zoned out, but did Red Hair just put a Raiden in the very corner to handle that sledgehammer?
Yes, sir. Sure
Not,
did.
not sure about that. I mean, it's not terrible, but
It's farming.
it's farming. Don't worry about it.
It'll get levels eventually.
Additional deploy makes me think that he's going to take a turn off of buying Raidens. They both want it.
Goes for Wasp.
Don't mind that, I guess. I
Oop.
feel like that's a better answer than the Raiden to the sledge in the corner. But
Yeah,
too late on
he
that.
just seems to go for the tower, though. Cheeky Wasp there in the bottom left corner.
Yeah, not a bad move.
Uchi gets access to the Rhino, round 4 Rhino Specialist. Goes for a tower cheese himself.
Just gonna get another Raiden up there. It's the only answer. One Raiden per flank. Yeah, it's gonna be
Ooh, the
really annoying.
Crawler Edition seems really good for Pucci in the top left.
Yeah, what a perfect positioning on it too. Maybe yeah, I guess it'll just be stuck for a long time.
Ooh, some Phoenixes being added there on the left side, defending the flank. They might
Hmm.
be able to get rid of those Wasps, because they still have to spawn in, and they might get distracted by Crawlers as well.
Yep, staggering their shots. Mace. It's really close, actually. I think it does
Yeah,
win.
they should be
Phoenixes.
fine.
Yep. Nice. Good move there.
Good play from Apucci. Oh, I say that. I mean, it's delayed enough, I guess. Tower will fall.
Yeah, they're still anti-air.
One Phoenix pack
Oh,
alive. Oh,
is it locked on? Like, how does that work? It is locked on. Okay. There are fangs, though. Even if the Phoenix dies, we do have fangs.
Round 5.
Marksman might be exactly what Apucci wants. Like, he already has
I
the
think it,
Phoenixes,
I think
but
Apucci doesn't run AA. If I'm hovering over it.
hmm, would you still pick them?
Uh, I mean, the rest is kind of useless, right? So maybe you do want them. I guess alternatively you get Wraith and you just sell.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it seems to be like that's the case.
Will a Raiden go in the top right corner to kill the Rhino? Surely not, right?
I think it'll take a bit too long.
Yeah, maybe just mislit. I don't know. It's kind of annoying, right? Phoenix with range now, so that's his long-term commitment for anti-air. I mean, it's been working so far. I think that's a good move. There's the Raiden. Is it going in the top right corner? No.
Nope.
Okay.
Is Red Hair calling another bluff? We have seen this from him.
Yeah, for sure.
We can see it with the Wasps, I think, at the bottom left. They're still there. Top right, not really being answered.
Yeah, not at all. They're both calling each other's bluffs. And red hair might be bluffing. Well, he does tower fortify, but still, like, he knows that will eventually yield a 7-second debuff.
Crawlers might be able to stop this, though, at least for some time. I guess the gamble is just making sure that these Raidens can get rid of the Phoenixes. If they can do that, then the debuff doesn't matter too much. If not, then we've got a problem. Shaft gear still seems to be the problem here, though. Just not enough, and yeah, the Raidens are stuck shooting at Crawlers. That debuff does not come in at a good time whatsoever.
Yeah, no kidding. Phoenixes will just clean it up. It's a lot of damage, too.
Yeah, really good round from Ipuchi. Another one like those, and that might end very, very quickly. Red Hair needs to turn things around, and I think Shaft Clear here is the name of the game.
Yep. Steel ball or laser are two attractive items here for the Raidens. Steel ball it is. Pretty good at distracting the Phoenixes, I would say. Maybe the arc lights as well. Possible
Ooh,
tower
okay.
pressure as well. Ooh, I like that, actually. Now, Wraith is unlocked, so you can start getting spicy about making tanky Wraiths, but I don't know if we would see that as a response. It might instead be something more like energy shields.
Speaking of energy shield.
Yeah, which is randomly called portable shield on the fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good, right? We've seen it be very successful today against Raidens. I think people are starting to really notice that.
Yeah, and it just hammers down more on this lack of chaff clear, right?
100%, yeah. It's almost like you need fire at this point.
Yeah, I guess you could try and ask Bear like nicely for some fire badgers or something, but it's gonna come down to whether or not these AA fortresses can take out the Phoenixes. Because if they can, then the Raidens will simply stay alive indefinitely.
Fortresses
Ooh.
got some work to do.
First bank of Phoenixes there, almost going down instantly. The ones in the middle are slightly trickier. They are much tankier, and yeah, they only take about 50% damage from the volley.
Yeah.
Meaning they will be going down. Or meaning they will be able to take out that fortress. Only one left alive. Yeah, that purchase doesn't quite seem to do the trick.
Yeah, I like the
And the problem...
idea, but
Yeah, you probably want more of them here, but you can't really afford to, right? Like, you have to answer those shielded fangs.
yeah, it's a good point. Maybe not enough deploys to handle everything here. It looks like the cards don't really help. I mean, I guess you get rid of some of the shields, but I don't think that's enough.
Oh, That EMP, though, looks very good for Ipuchi. Able to hit those two Raidens, able to hit the Fortress. Missile Intercept Mustang. The play now for Ipuchi. And Red Hair is doubling down on those fortresses. But yeah, I mean, the question mark remains, how is he going to be dealing with the chaff?
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a difficult thing to handle at this point in the game. I mean, the amount of shots you'll have to shoot is insane. I mean, he has the Wraith, but he sold one of them, has no techs. I mean, that's clearly not going to be part of the equation.
Yeah, Red Hair is just banking everything on being able to take down the Phoenixes. And with those 4 Mustangs and Missile Intercept, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get there. EMP will get blocked, at least for the fortresses, but the Raidens can't get protected, so they will lose their range. Same thing on the side of Ipuchi, though. Those Phoenixes now without the range tech for a bit.
Yep. EMP definitely making its mark here. The Mustangs trying to keep the Phoenixes alive.
Seem to be able to do the trick. Oh, I say that. Phoenix back there going down, but 2 fortresses down 2.
Oh, the tower
And
debuff
tower
here.
gets sniped.
Oof.
Yeah, this does not look good whatsoever here for Red Hair. And with 358 hit points remaining, Ipuchi will simply close it down in 2.
Quick 2-0 there for Apuchi.
Really nice. Solid gameplay. I mean, he showcases how it's done, right? He wins with the Raiden, and then he wins against it without having to play the unit himself. Kind of showcasing how you might try and tackle this unit when it comes out very early. Keep in mind, this Raiden was purchased on round 2 by Red Hair this game.
Yep. Yeah, pretty good response. Phoenixes definitely look formidable. Probably the most recurring thing we've seen is shielded fangs or shielded wasps, just putting a lot of chaff in its way. So that wraps up our games today. I had a lot of fun with this one. It's really exciting to see season 2 come around the corner here. A lot of new stuff. What are your thoughts, Rooster?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. We got to see some very exciting stuff today. It looks great. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to figure out ourselves what we think about training spec by the looks of it. But
They didn't help us. Come on.
hey, we can't be too picky. We got to see the new Sabers as a starter. We got to see the Raidens, of course. We got to even see improved Overlord, even though it is a bigger giant now. So
Yep.
yeah, I think this was a great success. Cool to see, and I'll be looking forward to that 2nd of January. Yeah, 2nd of January when
Yep.
the patch goes live and season 2 begins.
Yep. All right, some closing words here. Next Saturday we start our season 2 of MAG1 League. This is a tournament with a greater prize pool and greater amount of players than our first season. We're gonna have 16 players. We're gonna have a $1,000 prize pool, and I'm super excited about that. We're gonna be inviting all the top players. Be a really similar format to last season, so please drop us a follow. Again, Saturday, pretty much every Saturday, there's always stuff going on here. So if you want to catch everything, make sure to keep your schedule free early on in the morning. Uh, and yeah, that'll be it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.